The Tennessee Titans go to Lambeau Field and come home victorious. 27-17, the final score tonight on Thursday Night Football. A win over Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, and the Green Bay Packers, and win number 50 for head coach Mike Vrabel. This is Titans Talk Back, presented by Lee Company, on the phone lines at 615-737-1045. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. With Dr. Kevin Dyson, I'm Will Boling. And Dr. Dyson, how about that?
Win 5-0 in Lambeau, man. Congratulations to Coach Vrabel, man. Just, I think back, I reflect on the conversations we were having in the preseason. They looked pedestrian. That's being nice. They looked terrible at times. Now, granted, most of the guys didn't play. You get to the Giants game, and, it was good for a half, and then the Giants came out and just imposed their will and ended up losing that by not being able to convert a field goal at the end. And then you go to Buffalo, and it looked like, is this even going to be a playoff team? And, and said then, I still feel like they're going to be the best team in the division, make the playoffs, but it's going to be a rough year. And slow and steady, this team is continuing to improve. Injuries aside, again, this is a team that last year set a record for roster moves and people and the next man up, guys finding ways to be prepared and play and be productive and win football games. And this year's not any different. Last week being short 5 starters on defense, and you take a Kansas City Chief team to overtime with a backup quarterback. I mean, I'm going on this little rant just to illustrate just how resilient this team is and able to find ways to win football games. Today, production offensively was obviously their best to date. 27 points, 400 total yards, 32 minutes of time of possession, 300-yard passing. I mean, had a 100-yard receiver for the first time who knows when. It was a good overall team. Field defense continues to be the staple of this team. The identity of this team is a physical, get-after-you defense that's not going to give you anything. You're going to have to earn it. Man, and they made a Hall of Fame quarterback. It was weird. It wasn't like he had terrible night, but it wasn't a great night. So I guess in essence, it was a bad night for Aaron Rodgers, man. He's a great football player. He missed some throws, obviously, too. Man, it was a very good football night. You just never had a sense that they were not in control of this game today, which is amazing going down to Lambeau. I know the Green Bay Packers have their troubles, had several drops by their receivers, and that's well documented that he has issues with his receiving core, but he still got to go down there in that frozen tundra in Green Bay, Wisconsin on a short week and pretty much dominated this game from first drive to the last whistle. And, oh, my goodness, finally, been saying it for 10 weeks, a receiver win a 50-50 ball.
Oh, my goodness. And at the end of a game, and Traylon Burks told a defensive back, "You're too small."
Too small. Finally, we got somebody to win a 50-50 ball.
We saw an edge from the Titans wide receivers that we have not seen this year.
Yes.
7 catches for 111 yards for Traylon Burks. He had his career high at halftime in this game.
That's crazy.
6 catches for 69 for Robert Woods. Nick Westbrook-Akine had 2 really tough catches in this game. One slant over the middle that was just a really good job holding on to the football. Austin Hooper, 4 for 36. Chig Okonkwo, 1 for 31. Traylon Burks in this game, Kevin Dyson, the first Titan with 6 or more catches and 100-plus yards since A.J. Brown, Week 16 of 2021 on Thursday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers last year.
That's a long time.
It has been a
long time. You know what? I just want to give a shout-out to a couple people. These 2 tight ends, I know for Hooper, the numbers are not glamorous aside from the 2 touchdowns, but some of the tough catches he is making in critical moments, extending drives, man, he is becoming a bona fide, reliable target for Tannehill. And Okonkwo, this dude's a big play waiting to happen, isn't he?
He sure is.
That's 3 weeks in a row.
It is.
He's and he's showing signs of that whole Delaney Walker ability, man. and maybe Troop or somebody, guy who can get the field vertically, stretch the field vertically. I forgot to mention them too, man. But man, kudos to the receiving core, man. They answered the bell today. They've been having these question marks. That's 2 weeks in a row. I feel like somebody rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
After all the naysayers, including myself, saying stuff about the receiving core needing to step up, make plays. Because again, I'll go back to the KC game. They step up, make 2 plays. Who knows what happens? Again,
Sure.
And you got to help a rookie quarterback out who was struggling to get completions, and you have 2 in your chest. That's on you. It's tough catches, but you got to make those plays. And guess what? They answered the bell these last 2 weeks by 2 different receivers stepping up, making plays. That's what you need in your receiving core, and that's what you want for your team.
615-737-1045 is the number tonight on Titans Talk Back, presented by Lee Company. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. We are here with you until midnight, so we've got an hour for you to take a victory lap over the Green Bay Packers as the Titans get a 27-17 win in snowy Green Bay, Wisconsin. We begin with Eric in Nashville. First up, good evening, Eric.
Hey, first of all, guys, I want to wish you guys and hope everybody out there has a fantastic Thanksgiving, since we won't be again for a game until a week from Sunday. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
And also, I also want to say this to all those people earlier today at ESPN who were saying, "Oh, the Packers were back after that 5-game losing streak. They beat the Cowboys, came behind 14 points. They were going to beat the Titans, get on the run, and go to the playoffs." Not. I'm so happy that happened, guys. The Packers are done. They are toast right now. And, guys, what can you say about this defense? Again, we had several players go down, guys playing hurt, and they stepped up, especially, guys, as we had that long drive, got no points, forced a 3-and-out. Then we had the unfortunate turnover by Tannehill, another 3-and-out. They only had 1 sack, but it was late in the game, and it was a huge sack, and then Jeffrey Simmons on that 4th down stop. What can you say about this defense? And offensively, the jump pass from Derrick Henry to Austin Hooper, great pass. When can you remember the last 2 back-to-back weeks where we had 100-yard receiver? I can't remember the last time we had 2 games back-to-back where receiver had over 100 yards receiving. And also, don't want to get on Tannehill on top down in the play calling, but still, it's just, guys, it's just so frustrating. The second down to 1, I thought we should have ran the ball. But give credit to the defense for the second straight week after a turnover. They forced a 3-and-out to bail us out. I mean, what can you say? Hats off. And the nice thing about this win, we get 10 days off before we play again against Cincinnati. Hopefully, we'll get some revenge for the playoff loss, guys. But just everybody take care. Have a great evening. Go Titans. I'm just so pumped, guys.
Thank you,
We'll talk
Eric.
again soon.
Appreciate the call.
Hey, this defense now, and we keep in mind they haven't had the same lineup in like consecutive weeks in a long time. Guys just keep stepping up. Secondary linebackers, the defensive line has just been resilient and been consistent just from a production standpoint. Let alone who's in there. Big Jeff getting another sack today, man. This defense has really carried this ship all year long. And they've just been waiting on offense to just have a game like this where they can just kind of tee off a little bit. Now, when I say tee off, they can just play their game. They don't feel like they had to make plays to make up for the inadequacies of their offense. And even though they didn't get a lot of sacks today, they were so productive. To the caller's point, Eric's point, man, the 3-and-outs, those are almost like turnovers. You know, they were able to keep the time of possession, flip fields, and things of that nature, and not let Green Bay get going. That was huge, man. That defense, man, kudos, hats off to them as well.
615-737-1045 is the number. More of your phone calls after this as we take our first break tonight on Titans Talk Back, presented by Lee Company. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. 615-737-1045. Final score from Lambeau, Titans 27, Packers 17. Derrick Henry adding a passing touchdown to his resume this season as the Tennessee Titans beat the Green Bay Packers 27-17. Welcome back into Titans Talk Back, presented by Lee Company. 615-737-1045 is the number with Kevin Dyson. I'm Will Boling. What can't he do? My goodness.
Man, he continues to amaze. And I know it wasn't like flashy numbers today, but every one of those 87 yards were earned today. I mean, he was sitting there with 5 and 6 man front. I think they were trying to go mano a mano across the defense front. And that, to me, that's the ultimate game plan for the Titans. And I would especially have done that with a rookie quarterback in the game. But you saw it a lot last week as well, where they went 50 front or 5 man up front, making basically the Titans go hat for hat, especially in pass protections and in the run game, and say, can you beat this? And if not, somebody on the edge is going to beat you, have to beat us. And last week it was Nate Westbrook-Akine with a couple big plays. This week it was a plethora of guys. It was a lot of guys, and Treylon Burks getting off. Robert Woods had a big play there. We talked about Hooper and Okonkwo, and just continue to find ways to make plays. And Tannehill say, okay, dare me to beat you? Here, I'm going to make some plays for you, throwing for 300 yards plus. So, I still think that's going to be the recipe the Titans are going to see. And as long as Tannehill can consistently perform as he did today, now he might not always have 300 yards, but taking care of the football, being precise, getting rid of the football, being somewhat accurate, I think it'd be hard to sit there with the 5 and 6 men fronts. Yeah. And Derrick Henry will be able to get off. He's still over 1,000 yards considering. We were talking about off air. That's like the quietest 1,000 yards I've ever seen him have. Aside from the Houston game, it's like, man, like it's just been steady Eddie, man. And not to use Eddie's name, but steady Eddie has been like 80 yards, 65 yards, 70, whatever the totals are, other than that big game against Houston. But here he is again, another 1,000-yard rusher, the first in the NFL to it. He's going to be right there amongst the league leaders again. He's just steady and consistent. And that just means everybody around them needs to continue to elevate their level to open him up. And once that happens and the defense continues to do what they've been doing, they're going to be problems in AFC. If they can continue to get better every week.
615-737-1045, the number on Titans Talk Back. The Titans trust their home stadium to Lee Company to tackle their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical problems. They can protect your home, too. Your next play, visit LeeCompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. We go back to the phones where Christian calls in from Green Bay tonight. Good evening, Christian. How are you?
Man, we're great. I just want to make a couple comments. I want to start off by just giving a hat to the defense. I mean, it's next man up mentality. Somebody goes down, the next guy comes in, they play great. They did a great job keeping Rodgers in the pocket, and just everybody just swarmed to the ball. The receiving core gets a lot of blame. They don't get a lot of respect amongst the league and amongst our fans, but tonight, every one of them made a play. I mean, you look down the line, every single one of them made a big play in this game. Burks had a great game for a rookie. Woods, Westbrook, the tight ends. I mean, they just made plays all night. So it was great to see us go take care of business on the road, the frozen tundra. What a crowd it was. What an experience it was in Green Bay. Hats off to the Titans fans that came out there and supported the team from a long distance. So from Green Bay, we'd like to give a shout-out one more time. Tighten up. Tighten up.
Love it. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate the call, man. Get home safe. That's awesome. It did look like a pretty awesome crowd there, and it was cool. Philip Noel of Titans Radio tweeted this out from the Titans Radio booth after the game. As Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime were doing their post-game show, surrounded by Titans fans on the first about 5 rows, about 2-3 sections over to each side. Tons of Titans fans there enjoying this win. So Mike Vrabel mentioning in his conversation with voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, post-game, saying it's always great to end with the football in your hands, taking a knee. it's even better when you hear a crowd that has traveled to watch you make a noise as you do it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
You know what that is, man. In Green Bay, Arrowhead, Soldier Field, I'm just trying to think some of the old stadiums that myself, even though I'm 47 years old, grew up watching football in, watching these teams compete in. Man, they're special. Lambeau Field is a special place, and I go back to my rookie year in 1998 and being there with it was Reggie White's last home game.
Wow.
And snowing, it's below zero, wind chill.
No, thank you.
Man, I'm just like, I made it. That's when I was like, I made it, man. I'm in Lambeau Field. I'm seeing all the names in the Ring of Honor, and I'm like, dude, I am in Lambeau Field right now.
Yeah.
23-year-old kid just like, man, looking up here like I'm in Lambeau Field. And it's freezing cold out here, and I made it, man. This is a special experience. So I empathize with those fans, man, that got to travel up there and experience Green Bay, Wisconsin. They're some of the most ruthless, nicest fans I've ever been around. Yeah. They cutthroat, they dog cuss you, and after the game, they wish you well and hope you get home safe and thank you for coming. Man, it's a beautiful place.
615-737-1045, the number tonight on Titans Talkback. We go to Carson in Nashville up next on the phone lines. Good evening, Carson.
Good evening, guys. How are y'all doing?
Great.
All right, man.
Good. I just wanted to talk about the Titans are now, I believe, 8-2 against the spread.
Yes.
The Packers were a 3.5 favorite against us tonight, and they were 4-6 going into the game. And I know Titans get a lot of crap, or Titans fans get a lot of crap about how we don't get national attention. And I think tonight was just an absolute statement game. And you look at our 3 losses. The Giants, they're a good team. The Bills are a very good team, and the Chiefs are a very good team. And somehow Vrabel always finds a way to win, except against those very good teams. And I think if we just fix a few things going into the postseason, we could make a really big run. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Carson.
Yeah, each of those teams are right there leading their division.
Titans have covered the spread in 8 straight games.
Wow.
8 straight games. Yeah.
How often does that happen?
It does not happen often, and I'll tell you what, that speaks volumes because Las Vegas is too good at what it does to lose that much money.
Yeah.
Week in and week out. and fair or unfair, prime time, against Aaron Rodgers, Thursday Night Football. These are narrative games.
Yeah.
You want a narrative game tonight. Because now coming out of this, yes, a lot of the conversation nationally is going to be the Packers lost, not the Titans won. By the way,
it's the Packers.
Don't care what people say nationally. 104.5 The Zone is live every weekday for 12 hours. Just keep it here. But aside from that, the conversation, Kevin Dyson, out of this game is going to be about Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
And Ryan Tannehill beating Aaron Rodgers and Ryan Tannehill throwing for 333 yards. We're a couple weeks removed from a primetime game where the Titans wide receivers had 0 catches for 0 yards. Tonight, Titans wide receivers had 15 catches for 208 yards. That'll play.
That's production.
That will play.
Every time.
Yep.
Every time. And it's easily said that the production went up, but just look at the opportunities. We're talking Treylon Burks, 8 targets. Woods, 7. Let's see, who'll go down here? Westbrook Akine had 2. And so between those 3, there's 17 targets. And that it's more likely your production goes up if opportunities coming your way.
Right. Balanced performance today.
Performance. Yeah. And I'll say this too. Look how efficient it was. Burks, 8 targets, 7 catches. Woods, 7 targets, 6 catches. That's efficiency.
The throwaways were the incompletions tonight.
Right.
There were 3 throwaways in the back of the end zone, and then there was the interception. That's 4 of your 5 incompletions for Ryan Tannehill right there. And you would obviously rather him throw the ball away through the back of the end zone when you don't have anything in the red area. That's what's made this team so good in the red zone.
Yep. We didn't see any glaring drops. Other than the bad throw, if you will, the interception where he didn't see the backside corner sinking off. Other than that, it was a very well-played quarterback game, very efficient. He took what the defense gave him and made some plays. And the 50-50 ball was just a great dime as well. It was a great ball. And I saw Aaron Rodgers do one earlier through a dime. I was like, "Ooh, that's that!" And the receiver got up, made a gesture like, "Man, you didn't have to do anything. That ball was caught for you. That's how good a pass that was. That was so. But you just put your hands out. That was a good ball. But that was similar to what Tannehill did today with Treylon right there at the end. It was a great ball and great catch.
Statement,
and they could have ended the game. I mean, they ended the game right there. It was a wrap.
51 yards to Treylon Burks, rubbing it in a little bit maybe to your old offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur, who threw a bomb to Devontae Adams up 33-14 in the fourth quarter in 2020. The last time these two teams got together.
Yeah, I think Vrabel has a long memory.
I think so too.
I think he's like an elephant when it comes to that crap.
615-737-1045 tonight on Titans Talk Back, presented by League Company, our great sponsor. League Company, all you need, online at leaguecompany.com. And Mark in Illinois is up next on the phone lines. Good evening, Mark.
Hello?
Hey, Mark, you got us?
Yes. All right, so first of all, Kevin Dyson, I want to give a shout out to you, 10 years old, when I became a fan, and I've been a fan ever since.
Oh, man, I appreciate that. Now you date me, but that's all right.
But I think, as far as the Titans, all the way at team and all that, I think they are sneaky with not giving up the sauce as far as, like, when they got a team that they got to play and they know it's going to be a competition, maybe they don't bring out everything that they need to bring out. Maybe they hide some things. Maybe they, do some trickery. But I love this team. I love what they're doing. The defense is top, phenomenal. And I just think that what we have done in the past is maybe we have shown, just due to injuries and stuff like that, is why, like, we kind of have to hold back, and maybe why Mike Vrabel, he's a he's a smart coach, and I think that he kind of just knows he got to hold his cards a little bit, like unlike poker and all that stuff. So that's all I had to say. Tighten up, good victory, and I'll let you guys talk.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call.
Appreciate it, brother.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. Francis is in Antioch calling in with us tonight as well. Hey, Francis.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. I'm glad to your crew, Dyson, Dr. Dyson, and the crew.
How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm good. I'm glad to be a Titans.
Yeah.
Definitely, the defense was great. How about the mighty Titans?
There you go.
Yeah, they were good. I remember. I've been watching you for when I watched you when I know I've been with the Titans for about 25 years for real. I go to all games. I'm happy now. I sit drinking with my rum and coke for real.
Enjoy that, brother.
Thank you, Francis. Appreciate the call. 615-737-1045.
You remember last week we had a caller come in. He was ultra negative about the offense, and they can't sustain this, can't win football games, things of that nature. And one thing we try to illustrate is, like, it's working. You just be happy. I don't care if it's a 1-point win or what. At the end of the day, you just want your team to win. As ugly as it may be, you just want your team to win. But one thing you always know in the National Football League, you're going to have those ebbs and flows. You're going to have a really bad night, and you're going to have a really good night. At some point, the levee has to break. At some point, the production is going to come, and it's just a matter of matchup. It might hit on all cylinders. Some things just make it work. And there's been a couple times that it has worked for the Titans. And now that Tannehill seems to be, I don't know if it's the ankle injury, and he's ultra focused and laser focused on what he's doing, but he seems to be similar to what he was a couple of years ago when he took over, just being very efficient with the football. These last 2 weeks, you could see the growth in him and his confidence level, and I think he recognized how much this team needs him to be successful, and he's looking really good. But now, this is a building block, as even Vrabel will say. You're going to watch film. What can we get better at? That's just the true tribute to a good player, a good coach. Yeah, we did some good things today. However, we still can get better. And if you can still get better, that's what you want. And you're winning football games and you can still get better, it's a song now. And it's another big test to get some rest, another big test coming up against the Bengals.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. We go next to Samuel in Gallatin tonight on Titans Talk Back. Hey, Samuel.
Hi, I'd like to congratulate the Titans on a hard-fought win. as a Packers fan, and also congratulate Coach Vrabel on a great defense. Y'all shut down Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and y'all got to Aaron Rodgers a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate the call. I think stopping the rushing offense is certainly the impressive aspect of this defensively because, boy, Jeffrey Simmons looked like he wasn't 100% for the first time.
Yeah.
And Danico Autry getting hurt in this one, and Tier Tart going down, and Christian Fulton. I mean, again, it's names that you're not as familiar with making plays, but I'll tell you one name that is becoming a household name on this Titans defense, Kevin Dyson, is David Long Jr. What an effort from him again. 12 carries for 40 yards for Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon, only 6 carries tonight. He has 13 yards. Those two have really been pretty much 50-50 this season. And David Long with 9 tackles to lead the team, 3 tackles for loss. He had 60% of the TFLs tonight for the Titans defense, who had 5 total.
I'm telling you, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. The consistency, the level of production that he's had, he's playing at that level right now. Now, again, I don't know if he'll get the recognition. It's hard to get that when you're kind of not a household name. He's a local name, but he's not a household name just yet. But today, being on national spotlight and the production, man, he's garnering notice, he's garnering attention. And I'll say this, because of how they vote for like Pro Bowl, for instance, it's third players, third coaches, third fans. I believe he'll get some player votes. I think his opponents recognize how good he's playing right now.
He is also making enemies on the other team by about snap number 3. And in this game, it was to Aaron Jones. At one point, Aaron Jones reached out and signaled for a first down after a run that was about 3 yards short of the sticks. And David Long, just like they were kids at recess, tapped him on the shoulder, said, "Hey, look at this," and pointed. And you could see him point at the markers and say, "You're not anywhere close to the mark." Like, it's unbelievable what he did to Travis Kelce. You know, what he was able to do to Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. And now in this game, I mean, the guy is an absolute menace to society in the best ways.
He might be the team's enforcer. You know what I mean? Not that Big Jeff is not and things like that.
Right.
And then Tannehill, when he's in there, he's definitely in that conversation. But right now, he's kind of that enforcer, that personality of the defense right now.
I'll tell you what's impressive is that it feels like the Titans defense has an enforcer at every level. Jeffrey Simmons on the defensive line.
Yep.
David Long at linebacker, and always Kevin Byard in the secondary.
Yep.
Like, you've got that guy that typically a defense, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but a defense only has really one of those guys for the whole defense.
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2 of those louder voices that are going to make the plays and are going to tell everybody where to line up and where to be. I hear so much talking to people around this team and the players and the coaching staff, and one of their points of emphasis is just the communication on defense. Specifically. That was a problem in 2020 with a new defensive coordinator and a lot of new starters on that defense. It seems like this defense communicates as well as any group in the National Football League, and the play backs it up.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about this team, in a sense, the whole team seems to be together. They seem to be on the same page. And that, to me, is the ultimate testament to a coach, because you bring in a bunch of personalities, bunch of egos, a bunch of guys who everybody's like, okay, we know this Derrick Henry's team, and we're going to ride on his coattails, this King's team. And everybody's okay with it. Usually there's some sort of distinction between, I want the ball to help us win, whatever. And that's when you have a good football team, nobody cares who gets credit. And I think that starts with Vrabel. Even the King, he wants the ball to help his team win, but he doesn't care as long as we win.
Right.
At the end of the day,
right.
And everybody just wants a championship. And I feel like that's the ultimate prize for this team as it sits now. Do I want to get my catches along the way so I can help? Yes, because I feel like I can help the team win. Do I want to get my yards and my carries? Yes, because I think I help my team win. And that's a testament to that. And to your point on defense, that's the same kind of mentality from that defense. Is you see them rooting for each other. The guy gets in, they're picking each other up. The backup comes in. It's the same kind of energy, and they have an expectation like, you're in here, you're playing at this level,
right?
And it's just great leadership, and great teams have great leadership from the players. And every team I've ever been on, it's gone far. We've had great leadership, and they led by example. People have asked me even recently what kind of leader was McNair. I was like, Mac wasn't very vocal, but we respected him so much of how he played and how hard he played and things of that nature and what he did that we followed him. Eddie was our vocal leader. Brad Hopkins was more vocal.
Right.
Those guys were the more vocal leaders, and we listened because they produced. And you have people like Blaine on the other side of the field and things like that, just who also were very resilient and tough guys that they led. And this is what this team has, is great leadership from within. And the guys up top, meaning JR and Vrabel, they're leading as well in their way by going and seeking guys that fit the mold, and it's working right now.
Time for our Kroger Sacks for Cash tonight. The Titans added another sack, adding $100 courtesy of Big Jeff Simmons. And for the season, Kroger's donation to Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee now stands at $3,700, courtesy of Jeffrey Simmons' sack tonight. Every time the Titans sack the opposing team's quarterback, Kroger donates $100 to Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee. Through its Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan, Kroger is committed to ending hunger in our communities. One final segment when we come back. You can join us at 615-737-1045 as we recap the Titans' 27-17 win over the Green Bay Packers. One final segment tonight on Titans Talkback, presented by Lee Company. Lee Company, all you need. Visit them online at leecompany.com. Facility managers need a reliable partner for their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. They trust Lee Company's 24/7 service and their team of experts. Your next play, visit leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. We go back to the phone lines where D'Angelo is calling in from Green Bay. He was at Lambeau Field tonight to see the Titans win over the Green Bay Packers. What's going on, D'Angelo?
How y'all doing?
We're great.
All right, man.
I'm good. Hey, I was listening to the Green Bay radio station, and dude was like, Green Bay thought they was gonna be like 8-3 before their bad week or something like that. He said after their bad week, they gonna come back and it ain't gonna mean a D thing. They was mad at them, but yeah, it was a good game. Lambeau Field is nice.
Yeah.
Yes, it's real nice. Like I put it second next to the Nissan Stadium. I ain't gonna never put nothing before Nissan Stadium. Yeah, it's a nice stadium.
Love it. Thank you, D'Angelo. Appreciate the call. Get home safe, man.
Man, appreciate it, man. It's just it's such a good feeling, man. When you think about it, they are overtime away with a backup quarterback, rookie quarterback, from winning 8 straight.
From being the top team in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
That is all that separates the Titans from being the number one team in the AFC again.
A mixed kick from being 9-1.
Yeah.
And then just Buffalo, it was what it was.
Yeah, right. On that day.
Yeah, on that day, Buffalo was hitting on all cylinders that day.
Yep.
So it is what it is. But 9-1, that was the conversation. It has been pretty, but your team being,
And it's funny, too, because as close as we have that conversation, when we look at the positive end of it, there's so many people with how this team plays that want to take it the other direction.
Yeah.
Say, oh, this team's just so close to being 500 if they don't make these plays on defense. Well, making the plays on defense when they need them the most is the identity of who this team is. Yeah. And tonight, they played that complimentary football again, and they held one of the best rushing offenses in the league to 56 total yards.
Mm-hmm. Most games in the National Football League are like that. Man, if it went this way, we're in the playoffs or we're below 500 because most games come down to a possession or two. And the Titans have won more than they've lost under Vrabel specifically this year too. But under Vrabel overall, they've won a lot of. I think you illustrated that a couple weeks ago.
Right,
just how good they have been in one possession games under Vrabel.
Up next, we go to Zachary, who also calls in from Green Bay, also at Lambeau Field tonight to see the Titans win. What's going on, Zachary?
Hey, I just want to comment on how this team just, it's the common theme. They just find ways to win. It's never sexy. It's gritty, but it's the next man up mentality that I really think they take the role of their head coach, and it trickles down to every player we have to pick up, every player that comes in out of injury. It's awesome to see this team really rally around their head coach. And so we love it. The experience at Green Bay was awesome. The fans at Green Bay were awesome, but we're really glad we're coming home with a victory. So I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Zachary. Appreciate the call. Get home safe, man.
Yeah, the players, you can tell, they just vibe with Vrabel. Got secret handshakes and the whole nine with them, man.
At the end of the game, Derrick Henry and Mike Vrabel showcased a secret handshake.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Right. And they feel him, man. For all his, I don't know, lack of personality or whatever, or his straightforwardness in interviews with the media, and he just cuts to it and he doesn't have time for it, so to speak. You can tell he's a player's coach. He's a guy who gets it. He's played in the league. He knows how to push guys, and he knows what wins in this league, man. And, for lack of a better way to say this, man, preparation and hard work is always going to put you in conversation, being relevant. And that was, if for another, I don't even know how to say this, has been the New England way. They just have an expectation and a culture that is set, and you come in, either you abide by the culture and you're out of here.
Right.
And, Tom Brady aside, that has worked over the last 20-something years for them, and it looks like Vrabel and JR are kind of establishing something similar.
The impressive part of that, and you said it right there, Mike Vrabel is establishing a Titan way.
Mm-hmm.
For all the people that want to say the Titans, and this was more a conversation at the beginning of the Vrabel-Robinson regime in Tennessee, that the Titans were just copycats of the New England Patriots. Teams are going to start becoming copycats of the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Titans are now the only team in the NFL to go 7-3 through their first 10 games in each of the last 3 seasons.
Wow.
Only team in the National Football League to start each of the last 3 seasons 7-3. Remarkable.
Yeah.
It's a remarkable level of consistency that they have created. They start 0-2. They had to get there in a more roundabout way this season. They've already used 70 players. Didn't matter. 71 now with the new kicker, Josh Lambeau, tonight. Lambeau playing in Lambeau.
And we just over the halfway point. We're going to see another 90-player-plus season?
Man, possible. We go to Jeff in Clarksville to wrap things up tonight on Titans Talk Back. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, you got us?
Man, that is one heck of a stat to hear. I'm very – yeah, I got you. That is one heck of a stat to hear. I did not know that, but that's interesting. So – what I wanted to talk about was, for starters, I hope you guys are having a good night. But what I wanted to talk about was a couple of different things. I'm glad to hear a couple of Green Bay fans coming in and giving some props to the Titans for playing a good game. I think both teams played a good game, and it was very entertaining to watch. But what I want to do is I want to give some props to Rasul Douglas for that interception. That interception was absolutely impeccable. It was like a receiver catching it in stride, running down the field. He turned around, got some yardage out of it. It was absolutely beautiful. Probably one of the best interceptions I've ever seen. But at the same time, I'm a big Titans fan. Want to talk to Titans fans for just a second. Let's try to cool down the Todd Downing talk for just a minute. We have an offensive coordinator. He makes mistakes. Every team's offensive coordinator makes mistakes. Some games are really bad. Some games are really good. Tonight was really good. Be proud of this. We were on the national stage. Who cares about the attention? We just had our defense and our offense showcased on the national stage. Everybody watched it. People are going to talk about us, but everybody knows that the Titans are the underdog. We always come in and win the games we're not supposed to win, sometimes win and sometimes lose the games we're supposed to win. So just stick with it. Keep going. A team that is 7-3 that has the type of talent we have is not going to get rid of an offensive coordinator in the middle of the season. Let's cool off. Let's have a good season. Let's root for the Titans. Tighten up. Come on, fan base. They need you now. Fill Nissan Stadium. Let's go to the Super Bowl. Tighten up, baby.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the call.
Glass half full.
And for all the negatives that we have heard and for all the negatives we have said about Todd Downing, we will give him credit for a great game today.
Right. And, a part of our job is to be critical of what we see, right? We're evaluating them from a analyst perspective and games. We've been pretty steady, pretty consistent on, yes, they have to get better, right? That's evident. They've got to produce better. They got to put up points on the board. This is not necessarily sustainable. At some point, you're going to have to win football games offensively. Your defense is not going to be able to hold up all the time.
Right.
But you just keep winning. Long as you continue to collect those dubs in the National Football League, none of that matters. At the end of the day, I don't care. If I'm in the playoffs, I get my chance. I'm in that tournament, I give myself a chance to fight for that championship trophy.
Yep.
That's what you want at the end of the day. I don't care how you got there.
Titans Talk Back is presented by Lee Company. Lee Company, all you need online at leecompany.com. As we look ahead to next week's opponent in the Look Ahead presented by Eurofix, let me remind you as well that Eurofix repairs everything European that you drive and below dealer pricing. ASE certified technicians, a local company that has serviced Middle Tennessee for over 2 decades. Visit Eurofixonline.com. Next week, the Titans head back home after the mini-bye, 10 days to rest, to recover, and recharge for a little bit of revenge. The Cincinnati Bengals come to town next Sunday. That is a noon start in Nissan Stadium. The entire Titans radio crew will have you covered back home in the Music City next Sunday. Enjoy the weekend away from NFL football a little bit. Kevin Dyson, we will see you next weekend.
Yes, sir. Tighten up.
Titans radio coverage is produced by Philip Noel and Brad Willis. Studio producer is Joe Hunkapiller. Scoreboard producer Lucas Panzica. Promotions director Rich Ferris. Director of sales is Hunter Rice. General manager Allison Warren. Operations managers Charlie Cook and Paul Mason. The executive producer of Titans Radio is Rhett Bryan. For Brett Batchelor and Kevin Dyson, I'm Will Boling saying goodnight from Nashville. Titans victorious again. We'll see you next weekend.